Hey, welcome to Film Fury. I'm Victor Lucas. This is my buddy Johnny Millennium, and we are going to review a movie called Good Time. But first, we have to give a special shout out to our pals at the VFS School of Film. All right, let's talk about this movie. It is called Good Time, and it kind of sets up some expectations that you're going to have a good time. Did you have a good time with Good Time?
It's fascinating because you're like, hey, let's go see this movie. And I'm like, you know what? I don't know what it's about.
Yes.
I'm going to go in blind and not worry about it and just have a good time. This movie should be called Anxiety and Intensity, okay? Because that's all I felt all the way through it.
Yeah.
This is a fascinating film about a couple of brothers that decide to rob a bank, and everything goes wrong, and it continues to go wrong and wrong and wrong all the way throughout the movie. It was a hell of a ride. It was a roller coaster ride of intensity, as I say.
You know what? It's so visceral right from the beginning, and we should set this up a little bit. It's written and directed by Josh and Ben Safdie, and Ben Safdie is actually a pretty prominent character in this movie. The headliner, of course, is Robert Pattinson, who shocked the world with his Twilight superstardom. And what's interesting, and this is just sort of an aside for this, is that Robert Pattinson and Kristen Stewart seem to be making some really good choices post their career with that Twilight crap.
It's so funny. The movie ends and you're like, yeah, that's the guy from Twilight. And I'm like, get the fuck out of here. There's no way that's him. And I'm telling you, he did such an amazing job. I completely forgot about Twilight. This guy's an incredible actor.
I forgot about Twilight the second I watched Twilight, but Robert Pattinson is trying desperately, I think, and making some smart choices. We saw him in the Lost City of Zed earlier this year, and he was solid in that. But he's making choices to kind of, you know, get people to recognize that he is in it for the long haul. He wants a career. He wants some recognition.
He wants to be a serious actor.
He wants some respect, and he's going to get it with this performance because you're right, it's fantastic. And it is about these two brothers. One of them is a little smarter, and one of them has got some mental
issues.
Some mental issues for sure. And Robert Pattinson plays the smooth-talking, you know, quick on his feet scumbag who will do anything it takes to sort of persevere and get through whatever circumstance might befall him.
And it's just one circumstance after another, and it doesn't stop all the way to the end of the movie. There's another big hero in this movie that I want to talk about that may be forgotten or might not even be talked about by anybody, and that is the soundtrack.
Oh my God.
A pure synthesized soundtrack that made me remember movies like Terminator. I was sitting there watching it and I'm like, why do I like this movie so much? Why do I like the intensity? Why is it making me feel like an 80s movie? And it is the soundtrack. It's a total hero in this movie.
It's fantastic.
It's really good.
And it actually brings up Nicholas Winding Refn's Drive as well.
Yes, that really good movie.
That standout film with Ryan Gosling. And this is almost that kind of level of performance and a kind of a visceral kind of feel, because you feel every punch. I mean, there's a lot of uncomfortable frames in this film where the camera is really punched in way too tight, really tight on faces. You see pores, you see sweat, you see stuff you shouldn't be seeing in a movie.
It's like a documentary, you know? That's really what it feels like. The acting is that good that you're absorbed into it like a documentary style.
The beginning of the movie, I thought we were watching the wrong film. I thought the projectionist had loaded up the wrong movie because I was expecting a Robert Pattinson kind of glam thing about some crime guy that's going through stuff. And you know, it is a little ugly the way that this movie is put together, but there's a beauty to the way that they've framed everything and put everything that's sort of, you know, using available light, and there's a lot of neon against skin, there's a lot of fluorescent lighting against skin, and God, it works.
It's constructed really well. There's actually points in the movie I'm like, I shouldn't be liking this as much as I am, and it feels like it's going on a little long. But I couldn't get off the roller coaster ride.
Well, and what's interesting about the movie is that it starts off so realistic and so grounded and authentic, and you feel like you're in this riveting kind of ordeal of these guys pulling off a caper, which we won't spoil, and then it goes wrong, and then it just starts to get a little bit more implausible and a little bit more implausible, and you still kind of believe it because Pattinson,
because he sells it. I believe his character,
and he's so solid in the role of, and the character actually is so adept at conniving people and getting what he wants from them. God, he's so despicable in this.
Yeah, he is really despicable, but he's almost doing it for a good reason. You almost want to see him get through all of his awfulness to succeed so he can calm down and have a relaxed time. You see that in a lot of these movies. You want to get them through the heist. You want to get them through all the pain so they can just calm down and get back to a normal life, and that doesn't really happen. I'm not spoiling anything, but oh my God.
Yeah, the other movie that this kind of reminded me of is that Martin Scorsese classic After Hours. hours, which again kind of played out in real time, because this is it, right? We follow everything that's happening in this movie, sort of second by second, moment by moment, and there's a lot of, you know, lots of zany twists and weird sort of diversions that we go on.
You never know where it's gonna go. You're like, I'm like, most movies you can always predict it, and this one's like, what's going to happen? And that's why I stayed tuned all the way to the end and didn't want to leave the theater or anything like that. I'm like, where's this going? And it's a hard movie to recommend.
Well,
though,
that's
right?
excellent filmmaking. I mean, I can wholeheartedly recommend this movie. I think that it felt very fresh and very original and kind of shocking. And there's a lot of street casting that's done in this film. So all of these supporting players and stuff look and feel like they're real.
I'm the captain now.
Yes.
When I saw him, I'm like, oh my God, he's in this movie too. Yeah, and it was a great role.
He's terrific in this as well. And Jennifer Jason Leigh's got an interesting sort of flashy cameo type bit in here. I thought she felt a little out of place because she is so famous, and suddenly she just pops up in the movie. But God, it's hard not to love this thing. I really was captivated by this movie. They did an amazing job with this.
It's really weird to recommend a movie that is so awful. That's all I'm saying. It's really
it makes you feel so awful.
Yeah, it makes you feel so awful. You feel so awkward watching it. It's uncomfortable.
Yes.
But it is a great movie, and it's well constructed.
And God, we've seen so many movies, just you and I, but everybody that's watching this, every movie fan out there has seen so much. We're glutted. We have so many things to consume entertainment-wise. So when a movie comes out like this that feels so unique, you got to pay attention to it.
It has a very big independent vibe, and that's what I really appreciated about it.
Yeah, and I love the story of these independent directors and writers sort of just banding together. And Pattinson probably got the money together because he's a big name, and he's going to bring people to this film. But it's such a weird.
Can you imagine all the young girls?
The Twilight girls.
Oh, I can't wait! They're like, holy shit!
They're not
what am I sitting in?
They're not so young anymore.
They're not so young anymore. You know,
and maybe they're ready for a much more mature, grounded, gritty Robert Pattinson.
I hope they are, because he certainly delivers.
Yeah, he's terrific. What are you going to give Good Time?
I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10.
Gets an 8.5 from me. You guys got to get out there and see this thing. Support originality like this. And listen, if you want to make original movies like Good Time, you know you can learn to do that in the one-year program at the VFS School of Film. Go to VFS.edu for more info.